The Speed Art Museum has a new exhibit that's a part of their Louisville Black Avant Garde series, which highlights local Black visual artists. Its second installment highlights local artist William Duffy, and he joins us today along with Dr. Fari Nzinga to tell us the inspiration behind his artwork and why this series is so important. Thank you both so much for coming in today.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely, yes. And so tell us about this new exhibit.
Well, the exhibit spans about 51 or 52 years of work from the time I was in art school up until present day. And the work is in various stages, some from art school. I was a painting major. And after I graduated, I went on to sculpture and also making awards and that type of thing.
Yeah. And so what was the inspiration kind of behind it?
Well, I think I will let Dr. Nzinga talk about that.
Sure. So at the Speed, we are doing a series called Louisville's Black Avant Garde. Last year, we opened with an exhibition by Professor Robert L. Douglas. And this year we're celebrating Duffy. We're doing this for 4 years in a row, so this is our halfway mark. And each year we're doing a solo show that highlights African American artists who are from Louisville and who are active in the West End and all over the town, all over the city. And we're really trying to use our platform as a museum to raise up the profile of some of these really talented artists who have been in our community for quite some time.
Yeah, I love that, the Speed, you are constantly changing out your exhibits, whether that's coming from, another major art institution or highlighting that local artist too, which I think is just so important. And so how does this exhibit speak to Duffy's leadership in Louisville?
Oh, that's such a great question. One of the things we wanted to do with this exhibit was really show how important Duffy has been as an artist and also as an educator here in Louisville and in the region. So he's been teaching for over 40 years. Wow. And we wanted to share some pieces of work that were done in community with his students. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Actually, I'm the youngest of the old crowd. Okay, so I was sort of on the back end of the Louisville Art Workshop, which later became Montage. But originally, it started out with a bunch of artists that have gone on to bigger and greater things. Sam Gilliam is one, Dr. Bob Douglas, Robert Carter. There was a number of them, and so that was the first phase. And as they grew up and grew out of Louisville and went on to become what they had become, the next phase was Ed Hamilton and G.C. Cox, and some of these names you may know or may not know, but those are the ones that I was introduced to. Fred Bond was also in that group from the beginning all the way until the Louisville Art Workshop disbanded. But and so he was the one that sort of brought me into the fold. I had I was I think my junior year of high school. It could have been my senior year. I was trying to figure out what direction I was going to take. And my English teacher, Mrs. Ann Elmore, she saw some of my work and said, oh, this is, we must show this.
Right.
And so she put together a small exhibit for me. And then to follow up with that, she invited Fred Bond in, and he had a slideshow. And in that slideshow, it had all these artists that I even never knew existed. And so that's sort of what set me on my way. I became, as I became a sophomore, then I saw a picture of Ed Hamilton, who was a local sculptor that's well known. He became director of the Louisville Art Workshop, and and from that, I said I must meet him. And so I finally got to meet him, and he said, "Come on in. You know, you're part of the group. You're an artist too." And so, yeah, I was taken in just almost immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really neat to hear your story, how it started from such a young age, and now you have your whole art exhibit at the Speed Museum. So I'm sure that it feels incredible to have
Oh, it does.
something like that.
It feels just absolutely incredible, and I can actually thank Afari and Sarah Battle and others, but they're the ones that said, "You're it. You're next."
Yeah.
And so here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. So how long is this exhibit up, and when can people go and see it?
So this exhibit has been up since the 28th of June. It runs until I think the 29th of September. So you have the whole summer to check it out.
Yeah.
Definitely come on our Owsley free Sundays. That is one of the best times, I think. And then you get to see other parts of the museum as well. But it's open, and it's a non-ticketed exhibition. So with your general admission fee, you can go in and check it out and really get a chance to peek inside the mind and the creative process of this wonderful artist.
Yes. Well, thank you both so much for coming on today. I can't wait to see the exhibit. It's always just so fun to be out at the Speed Museum. You never really know what you're going to find, and especially with Duffy's exhibition there. So thank you both so much for coming in today.
Well,
Thanks for having us on.
inviting us.
Absolutely. So to learn more about this exhibit, just visit speedmuseum.org.